Hi, thanks for clicking that button, and that tells me that you're interested, which means you're probably one of the ones that's been praying and lifting me up over the past few months. Many of you have donated money. You have participated with fundraisers. I'm thrilled when I get to see those fundraiser shirts showing up at my yoga practices. And again, it tells me that you're engaged with prayer first and foremost. I don't have enough words to be able to truly convey how incredibly grateful I am for that support. There's also some of you that have just literally handed me money and said, I believe in you. And again, I take that very seriously. I take that as a high responsibility and a good steward of your resources that are becoming the resources that God is using for basically launching this nonprofit. It does take a lot of startup costs. And so we have met those costs. We've met those demands. And I am officially a nonprofit as of today. If you were to go onto the state of Ohio and take a good search for my name, you would find both Yoga by Bethany and the name of my nonprofit is Healing at the Hands of Almighty. Healing at the Hands of Almighty. And that is H.A.T.H.A. I'm using that as kind of a trade name, Hatha Yoga. If you're familiar with that word, you already know what that kind of translates to. It's a postural yoga. And if you're not familiar, if you're not someone who's really familiar with yoga, it's just an easy word to remember, Hatha Yoga, or Hatha if it were pronounced correctly. So that being said, that is officially up and running. We do have some more steps to take before we take this to a federal level, at the 501c3 level. But as of right now, it is an official booking as to be an entity in its own existence. It has an EIN number with the federal government. And so I'm going to be looking at going forward with trying to secure some grants. Hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be doing that. In the meantime, God has been opening other doors with regard to serving in that population that I used to serve in, whether it be recovery or in youth intensive services is one of the organizations that I've been in conversation with. There's another organization in town that does do adult recovery, but youth intensive services works with youth specifically in crisis. So I'm incredibly honored that I'm probably going to get to go there. It's looking like I might. So if you would just keep me in prayer with that as well. Continue to just do what it is that we're doing obediently. I wanted to share this scripture with you with regard to the obedience of pushing forward, even during really challenging times. I am feeling challenged right now in a couple different areas. Number one is that there is a holdup with some of the paperwork with the state just because they've gotten addresses wrong, and I have to attribute that to God's timing. I don't want to get too bogged down by my frustrations in that. The other challenge that I'm facing is physical. I have been canceling classes more often than I'd like to, and some of you have heard me talk about this personally from my mat. It's just a struggle this time of year, and I think it has to do with some of the dizziness and the sinus stuff with the barometric pressure and the weather changes and the allergy seasons. But here's a scripture that I have been sharing in some of my classes over the course of the last week or so. And this is Paul in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, beginning in verse 8. I pleaded with the Lord 3 times that it might leave me. And he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. For power is perfected in weakness. And most gladly, therefore, I will boast about my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. Therefore, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in distress, in persecutions, and in difficulties, in behalf of Christ. For when I am weak, I am strong. And that's not my strength, friends. It's his. Thank you for being engaged and for lifting me up. I do feel the strength of those prayers. And again, your support is it's more than I can convey. Thank you.